What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Space Techno X. And in this episode, we'll be talking about something really out of this world. So, your immediate thought comes to space. And, spoiler alert, yes, it is true. So, today we'll be talking about a very, let's say, a very trashy or a very messy topic: space debris. Pretty sure you get the joke. But anyway, it's not really something to be laughing at because space debris does cause a lot of issues up in space, but it also causes a lot of issues back home at Earth. So, for example, we think we see a meteor out in the sky. And most of the time, yes, it is a meteor, but sometimes it could be something the size of a building. For example, a rocket part. It could have accidentally gotten, let's say, malfunctioned, or it could have accidentally just broken off, right? Because accidents happen, right? It happens here on Earth, so obviously it's going to happen up in space as well. And basically, let's say if the stage 2 of a rocket part falls off, right? Let's say if it was like this big. And this big doesn't seem too big, but if we were to make it the size of a building, for example, it's because rockets are huge after all. And if it's hitting the Earth's atmosphere at such high speeds, there is a very big chance that it could land in either the ocean, which would cause major pollution, or it could land here on land, which would cause potentially millions, maybe even billions of dollars in damage. So it's not exactly a great thing, and space debris has been increasing ever since. But let me tell you about something interesting which happened about 8 days ago. And that was out on the West Coast. So think like Vancouver, Seattle, Oregon, places like those. So basically what happened is that people saw what they thought was like fiery streaks. So not exactly a meteor shower. Like, you can see the photo for yourself, and it's pretty... It's not looking like a meteor. It's looking something man-made. It's not natural, right? And obviously this leads to the question as to what happened, who did it, what exactly is this thing? Well, luckily for you, I got the answers. So basically what happened is that SpaceX, right, Elon Musk's company, has been very busy in March. We all know that as a fact, right? And on March the 4th, so about a month back, they launched one of their rockets up in space. And they were supposed to be deploying some satellites or something like that. But anyway, we're just going to be focusing in on the rocket itself. So what happened is that obviously everything is programmed. Like when you're going to be sending as like something very complicated like a rocket, everything needs to be planned, right? Stage 1 will go off at this second, this minute, at this time, and stage 2, etc., right? So I'm not going to really explain about that, but I think we all know how it works. So anyway, so this was a stage 2 part, and what happened is that it was supposed to be re-entering Earth's atmosphere at a certain angle. It's because if you're going to do it like really steep, let's say if it was at a 45-degree angle, if it was going to go at a 50-degree angle, it might come way too fast and potentially crash in the ocean or even in land, which could, like I said, result in large amounts of damage, or it could come at an angle like, let's say, 30 or 20. Then potentially what could happen is that it might just disintegrate, or we might have like space debris issues again. So what happened is that it didn't enter the way it was supposed to enter. So let's say, for example, 45 degrees again. Let's say if the engineers, they did at 45 degrees. It must have landed somewhere around 50 because it started to really come down and people just thought it was going to crash. But luckily for everybody on land and also up in space too, it didn't crash. It just disintegrated into the atmosphere because the speed wasn't really enough to cause major damage, but it potentially could have. So this really makes us wonder as to like, is stuff like space tourism really like safe? I mean, like, now that we know what all this stuff happened, right? And like when I first saw the image, I thought it was some sort of like alien abduction happening on the West Coast, and I'm like, whoa. But luckily it was an alien abduction. It was just a part from SpaceX which did not go properly. It just malfunctioned and it was crashing into the atmosphere. So this really does make you wonder as to things like space tourism. Is it really safe? Like, it's because we all know that sometime in the future we're gonna start going to Mars, and maybe we might even have moon bases, Mars bases. Who knows, right? It's all in the future. So this really makes you wonder as to whether it's really safe. Well, that question is still up in the debate, but let me just give you my opinion. So I personally think it's obviously going to be safe. It's because international partners will be involved in this, and there will be a whole bunch of regulations and other stuff happening. But we just need to keep in mind that, like, we can't really launch rockets every day because it's a lot of materials, a lot of resources, stuff like that. I'm not saying that I'm against space. I mean, like, this is a space and tech channel anyway. Like, I completely support it. But I just think, we should, like, I guess, realize that resources aren't unlimited, and also that space debris is a huge issue. So I guess we must have, like, plan Bs or, like, plan Cs in play, just in case if plan A, which was the original plan, let's say if it didn't work. So I think we should have, like, some sort of contingency plan up in place. So just in case if the original plan didn't work, we can have some other backups just to make sure that, we don't pollute space and stuff like that. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please consider leaving a like and also to subscribe. We only have 12 subscribers. Let's hope that we can get 15. Alright? Stay tuned for the next one. And don't forget to be following me on Twitter. It's down in the About section, and I'll be leaving a card up there somewhere too. Check out my last video. It's about iOS and iPadOS 14.4.2. Is it setting us up for 14.5? Who knows? Check out that video, and if you did enjoy this, once again, please consider subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.